Hey everyone, how's it going? So today we are going to be talking about inefficiencies in the dating markets. So what do I mean by this? I'm saying that guys and girls have a lot of inefficiencies going in the geographic location they're at. Now, why is this the case? Because people are spending most of their time at school or work or at home, and they are not really meeting a lot of people through these activities. And unless you're one of those people who are very social, like, sure, you may be able to meet more people, but generally speaking, from my observations, many people they're just not really maximizing their capabilities. Perhaps it's a mixture of things. Their city or where they live sucks. And also, it's the fact that they're not really going out to meet people. Or if they are, it's in the small amount of free time that they have each day, and it's usually in a place or environment where you can only meet so many people in that time and space. So when I think about this and I really contemplate it, I realize that first off, girls are not exceptionally picky. It's not like they choose 1 in 10,000 potential suitors. Most females don't even meet that many people in a day. I'm not saying they're not picky, but in all honesty, the people that they choose, generally speaking, have at least minimal average standards and allowed qualities, which is one of the things you can work on. In addition to that, it's a good lesson in realizing that, okay, I can start changing things about myself. You know, they can do their own thing if they want to, but the one thing you can change is yourself. So if you find yourself falling into that same pattern, in that same situation, you can start changing where you are and fix that. Let's say you work a 9 to 5. You know, there's still time in the day. Start looking at potential venues and places. Now, I think girls and guys start doing this naturally on their own, but you can really start brainstorming, being creative, finding new pathways, and it can be quite beneficial. And so understand that, again, and this does not mean it's completely a numbers game. If you have that mentality and it's just spamming, that can be horrendous too, because you're not putting in as much effort, you're not really trying, you're not really emphasizing things, and so forth. But that's really what I'm very interested in, and it's very curious because that's what I'm seeing. There's so many inefficiencies out there. I think another big thing is that people just don't meet in the right way. If they met in a different way through friends, or they came across differently, it could have been a lot different. So again, I think that's two of the big obstacles I'm seeing a lot. One is that people are just based off their lifestyles. They have crappy lifestyles, and it's not just all of us who suck. I think a lot of average people who are, you know, pretty decent people, decent girls, decent guys, their lifestyles are just not conducive to it. Like, they spend a lot of time just not going anywhere, not meeting people, and it limits themselves and it limits the people who are trying to meet these people. So it's very interesting because I thought I was the only one, but again, I'm not. Having said that, though, there are plenty of people who are doing fine, plenty of people who have enough options or are doing decent enough, and whatever the reason is, perhaps they've just naturally found social groups or settings or clubs or activities or social networks or friends where they can meet people or enough people, and they're just very social. Who knows? But for the rest of us, I do think it's something that needs to be worked on, and also, again, work on the channels and ways of meeting people. So what do I mean by that? I'll give you an example. If you meet someone just off the street or at a bar or nightclub, especially if you do the approach wrong and you screw it up in the first initial 10-20 seconds, you could be done. For whatever reason, you know, on the street, depending on the street and depending on the girl, there's a lot more barriers up because they don't know who you are. You could be a rapist, potential killer, and you can say whatever you want, but they don't have as many barriers down as for someone they trust. Again, there's a lot of factors, so it isn't always the case. If you're Asian and you dress well, you know, it may be different. Like, I'm not gonna lie, compared to someone who's African American and dresses poorly. So unfortunately, there are certain ethnic biases and a bunch of other stuff. And I'm not saying I do well approaching on the street, but I do have a tiny slight advantage with that. So that's all I gotta say. We're all still working on this, and yeah, that's it in a nutshell. Thanks for watching.